Good afternoon, guys. Hope you're doing well. If you're online, if you can hear me, can you just do a thumbs up, please? All right, good. Um, Couple questions. Students taking the October test need to be in full swing preparation. Okay. Today's what? October 8th, right? So 20 more days or so, right? Uh, if I were to you, I would just go all in my preparation. Okay. You got to be intentional. You got to have the commitment. You have to have the discipline, not just the motivation, just the discipline to sustain it for the next 20 days and have a regular study plan. Sounds good? And come what may, you have to stick to it. There's no, you're going to have some good days, you're going to have some bad days. That doesn't alter your study plan, okay? You just go along. Sounds good? Okay. Going to open your notes of the last math class we did on circles and sectors and areas. So go to the notes as well, and Chance, you have your notes.
I left my notebook at home, but
So I'm gonna give you guys good for 2 3 minutes here to review through what we did last problem on sectors. Okay, last problem. Remember that, right? Okay, the problem I've written. This is a 60th question. This was a 60th question in ACT as is. This is exactly how it was given. This was a good one. Okay. And I'm going to start the timer. Not that I'm going to time you guys, but I want you to keep track how much time you took to do this problem. Sounds good? Ready? Go. OA is equal to AB is equal to 5 inches. With that information, find the area of the shaded region. This is question number 60 in ACT. If anyone has an answer, make sure to unmute and tell me your name. If you're here, just raise your hands here, okay?
Christian.
I'm gonna stop here at 4 minutes. So you can, I just wanna give a glimpse of something that can happen in the test where there's gonna be one tough problem. If it is a question by 54 and something like that, don't get stuck on these questions. You gotta move on, okay? Your job is to get as many correct as possible, not which questions you get correct, okay? And luckily this was 60th question, and many students just have to guess and stuff like that. Christian, you said you got this. Are you confident your answer is correct?
I think so.
All right. What is your answer?
1 over pi.
1 over pi. Get a calculators. Do 1 over pi. How much it comes to? Should be like a 0.3 something.
0.318.
Okay. All right. I don't know the answer, so we'll figure it out. Okay. But I don't want anybody to write anything. I just want you to just understand this. Okay. Because this is where things really happen. Okay. This is where the 36s become 35s and so forth. Okay. The first thing is OA is equal to AB. So this is equal to this, all right? And we also know that OA is equal to OB because it's a radius, right? So it is 5, 5, and 5. How many got this step correct? 1, 2, 3, 4. Online, do the thumbs up. Okay, I want to count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. If you don't get this step right, yeah, there it ends. So, second, to find the area of the shaded region, so I'm going to call area of the shaded, and I won't write this detail in the test, okay? I won't, okay? So is equal to the area of the sector, which is this portion. I'm just going to draw a dotted line here, minus the area of the equilateral triangle. Am I right? How many got this step? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? You got to get step by step, right? That's a slim area you have to find. The only way you can find is you take the slice of pizza and cut a triangle out of it. That's what is left. Am I right? So you find either the sector area or the equilateral triangle area. It doesn't matter. Let's start with the sector. To find the sector, you always need this angle. Remember, we talked about this called central angle. So what's the central angle here? It's pretty easy.
60.
60 degrees, because the equilateral triangle. Am I right? So the area of the sector is equal to pi r squared, pi times 5 squared, times the fraction 60 degrees divided by 360. Remember we talked about this, okay? Everybody get your calculators. Don't write anything, okay? Do 25 times 60 divided by 360. And then convert that to a fraction. Math 1, enter, will get you a fraction. So 25 times 60 times 360. What do you guys got? The fraction form.
25 over 6.
25
Over 6.
Somebody double check that.
Yeah.
Pi over 6 inches squared. All right? I'm going to keep the pi because, you know, Christian said he has 1 over pi, so let's follow that, okay? Then is the area of the equilateral triangle. So this is a triangle. 5, 5, 5. Area of a triangle. Do you guys know the shortcut formula for the how to find the area of a equilateral triangle without doing anything? Anybody knows the formula? There's a shortcut. I remember this from 7th grade. I will never forget that because we were drilled into this. No? Nobody? I'm going to give that, but if you don't like it, I can explain the whole damn thing. That's easy. But so the area of the equilateral triangle is s squared times square root 3 divided by 4. Shortcut. What does s stands for?
Side.
Side. So 5 squared times square root 3 divided by 4. So it'll be 25 square root 3 divided by 4. I still remember this. Okay? You should. Okay? You should. But if you don't like this method, let's do the whole thing, okay? This is your, what is the height, right? Area of the equilateral triangle is half times base, which is 5 times the height. Am I right? So this is 60 degrees, we know that. So I'm going to use opposite or hypotenuse. So sine 60 is equal to opposite or hypotenuse, this triangle here. H is equal to 5 sine 60. And then I'm going to just plug it here. So area of the equilateral triangle is half times 5 times 5 sine 60, which is 25. Somebody do sine 60 degrees in your calculator.
0.866.
Okay, that's nothing but square root 3 divided by 2 times 2 is square root 3 divided by 4. Someone do the decimal form of this and tell me the decimal answer. So 25 times sine 60 divided by 2. And check with this one. I want to make sure the decimal answers are same.
10.8.
Both of them, this as well?
Yeah.
Should be, but I want to double check that. Yeah, same? Okay. So let's go back here. So area of the shaded is equal to area of the sector, which is 25 pi over 6 minus 25 square root 3 over 4. So 25 is common, 2 is common, so pi over 3 minus square root 3 divided by 2. This is what I'm getting. 25 pi over 6. Do the decimal form of this, please. And we know what was 1 over pi was 0.3 something, so let's do the decimal form of this.
2.26.
2.26 inches squared. Christian, first question, did you get this?
No.
Okay. Did anybody get this? Come on. Not even one? Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Did anybody get this? The decimal form or the fraction form, whatever forms, you got this. You got this part, but you didn't get you didn't get this one. Get your calculators. Do 25 times 3.14. You got
78 point.
okay. So I just want to make sure that this number is significantly lower than this area of the circle itself, right? Some sort of justification for myself, verification for myself. I don't care about what form, but I was expecting few people to get this. I want you guys to do this problem twice. One, looking at this. One, without looking at this. Go. This is what you have to learn, right? This is what you have to learn. Now ask questions. If you have any questions, please ask. Do your calculations. Do your own calculations. It's okay to make mistakes here. open page 15 of the math packet. Shifting gears to difference of squares. Difference of squares. Pretty sure you've heard this: a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So this direction is called factorization, right? This direction is called what's opposite to factorization? Starts with F. Sorry, what did you say? Okay, one more time.
We learned it in school as foiling, like
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So from this direction, from left to right, it's called factorization. From right to left is the FOIL. Remember? So if I FOIL this, I get this. You know this. You studied this in 7th and 8th grade. So it's simple. But this is important. Many people don't know this. Well, they think they know it. Okay? Sounds good? Let's get started with the first question. You tried. This was question number 8 in the ACT, so you expect this to be easy. Factorize x squared minus 64. Don't take more than 10 seconds, please. Tell me the answer. Quick.
X plus A, X minus C.
Okay, good. Anybody has any questions? Okay, move on. For the next one. 8x squared minus 200. Factorize 8x squared minus 200. How many have an answer? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of people. Okay. First question. When you do difference of squares, you're looking for perfect square, right? Is this a perfect square? 8? No. 200? No. But you can factorize 8 first. You can factorize 8 and you're left with x squared minus 25. Then, of course, 8 times x plus 5, x minus 5. This was a question number 24 or 25 in ACT. So it's a little difficult than this one. But boy, it's very, very easy. Okay. Question number 3. Factorize x squared minus x raised to 6 minus y raised to 8. Go. This was question number 44, I believe. How many have an answer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now, when you do difference of squares, it clearly says it's squares, right? The square term. We don't have the square term here. Go to page 10. On page 10, you'll see a formula very commonly used in algebra. A raised to m raised to n is a raised to m times n. So, in our case, n has to be 2 because it's difference of squares. The 2 has to be there. So, x raised to 3 raised to 2. A raised to m times n. A raised to m raised to n is a raised to m times n. 3 times 2 is 6. Now, and you have 2 outside. That's the goal. Difference of squares. Minus y raised to 4 squared. A squared minus b squared. A plus b times a minus b. How many got this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Go ahead and write this. Every question we are doing in this section have been in ACT tests. Exactly the same problem. Done? Next. Question. Oh, by the way, how do I know this is correct? What would I do if I have time in the test?
Foil it then.
Simple. If I follow it, I should get back to this one. That's why these arrows indicate. This is the beauty of math, by the way. Math has some way of verifying the results. No, I don't think so any other subject can say that. You know, you cannot go to history and say, hey, can I verify this? Yeah, only in the books. You with me this? But you don't need anything for math. You can, if you have the basics strong, you have an understanding of the fundamentals, you can do it on your own. This was question number 60. Factorize a raised to 16 minus 16. Go. All right. How many have an answer? 5 here, all of the views. Okay, 1, 2. quite a bit. How many are sure their answer is correct? One. Okay. Anybody online who's confident their answer is correct? Confidence is an amazing thing, you know. It is. It's pretty tricky one. Let's see. A raised to 16 minus 16. A raised to 8 squared minus 4 squared. A squared minus B squared is equal to A plus B times A minus B. How many got this? Many students picked this answer in the ACT, but they got it wrong. Here's the reason. A raised to 8 plus 4, A raised to 4 squared minus 2 squared, double factorization, A raised to 8 plus 4, A raised to 4 plus 2, A raised to 4 minus 2. How many got this? 1, 2, 3. So okay. Right? Because this was a difference of squares as well, and you could have factorized this because these are perfect squares. This is question number 60. There's always some very rarely I've seen question number 60 is direct. Otherwise there is something to it. So don't go, of course, don't think that now every 60 questions is going to be something, okay? Take it by the question. But there's always a curveball or a long problem, usually, but not every time. I would say 3 in 5 times you'll see a curveball in last 68th or 59th question.
Couldn't you factorize the first one too? A raised to 8 plus 4?
Difference of
Oh,
squares. This
okay,
is a
yeah.
this is a positive binomial, right? You can factorize that. What is the math term for a number that cannot be factorized? You guys have heard this many, many times.
Prime numbers?
What's that?
Prime numbers?
Prime number. Remember the first grade, second grade math? That's a prime. Positive binomials are prime numbers. Write this. Ask a question. You have to ask questions. Make it interesting. All right. Next question. This is question number 8. Factorize x squared plus 64. Quick answer. We just talked about it. Answer would be? You can't, or?
X squared plus 6.
Yeah, x squared plus 64 or prime, right? Actually, the answer was prime. What do you think people selected the most wrong answer, I mean, for this problem? I'll give you a candy if you get this right. A
8.
can, huh?
8.
Nope,
X plus 8, X minus 8.
nope. Close though.
X plus 8, X plus 8.
X plus 8 times x plus 8. That's the most common wrong answer. What did they not do? They didn't FOIL it to see if it comes out that way. The beauty of math is to check sometimes if you have time. You guys with me? So the answer was prime. That means it can be factorized. Now, a same exact question was given in a completely different test. Was question number 55, but the answer was not prime, not factorizable. What do you think they did? It was a question of 55, same exact problem. The question was factorize x squared plus 64, and they had 5 answer choices. What do you think they did?
No solution.
They didn't have that. No solution, cannot be factorized, prime, those are not even answer choice. This is a difficult one, I agree to you. I'm not asking anybody to answer this, but we'll see if anybody can magically answer this. Yeah?
Imaginary.
Yeah, you got that right. Bingo, you'll get a candy. I don't have any, so I'll give it on Halloween day, okay? So here's what they did. So one answer is prime. X squared minus 64i squared. Do you guys remember I squared? I squared is -1. Is there anybody in the class who has never heard this? Please raise your hands. 1. Anybody? Nathan, what class did you finish in algebra, in school, I mean, last year?
Last year, that would have been algebra 2.
And you didn't do this? Which school?
Would have been on either Spirit Lake or Quincy Pearson. Halfway through each.
That's worries me a lot. This, they usually teach in 6th chapter. And after that, almost every chapter has some sort of imaginary numbers. There's a whole chapter on imaginary numbers. So have you heard this or not at all? Just be honest with me. It's okay. I know that your school well, by the way, so I'm not really surprised.
I don't think so.
Okay. I stands. So there is 2 types of solutions, and I'm going to teach everybody. So mainly for you, but. So when you write x is equal to 2 is what we call a real solution, okay? And there's another type of solution called an imaginary solution. An imaginary solution always comes in 2s, okay? And we're gonna get into the pretty much detail, by the way. So if I squared is -1, I is square root of -1. Nathan, get your calculator. Do a square root of -1. What does it get?
Error, no real number.
So,
No real answer.
so this is not real. It's imaginary. That's how the I comes into picture. I stands for imaginary. So, this is a positive binomial, right? But we can factorize if we have a difference of squares, a negative binomial. I squared is -1. Negative times negative becomes positive. So I didn't change the question at all. I just rewrote so that I can factorize it. So x squared minus, so this is my a squared minus 8i, this is my b squared. 8 squared is 64, I squared, which leads to x plus 8i times x minus 8i. Nathan, when I FOIL this, what should I get?
X squared plus 64i.
Just x squared plus,
64.
make sense? I get this, then I put I squared as -1, I go back to this. Again, remember the beauty of the final answer, you can go back to the main question. It's a really good one. Make sense? So, look at the format of the answers when you start looking at any problems on difference of squares. What might they have done? Write this. I would like you to put a star mark to question number 4 and 5. Put a star mark. Yeah.
So when you change the x squared plus 64 to the x squared minus 64
I
times
squared.
where does the subtraction come from?
Okay, so remember the original problem cannot be changed in math, right? Never, okay? What is I squared stands for? -1. So if we put -1 here, negative times negative becomes
Oh, okay.
positive. I rewrote it in a different way. That's all it is. Excuse me. Which leads to our next topic, imaginary numbers. Sounds good? All right. First, I want to make sure you guys know how to do this in the calculator, okay? We're going to directly go to the question. Get the calculators. Do this. First question. Factorize or simplify 1 divided by 1 plus I. And where is I in your calculator? Second decimal point. Basics, do not forget, if it's in the denominator, put it in parentheses and all those basic stuff. Okay. You got some answers? Yeah. Did everybody get it? I want everybody to know how to do this in the calculator, period. Because if I see this question, I'll do it in the calculator. Even though you may know it, how to do it, I just don't have time for it. Is there anybody here who didn't get it on using the calculator? Okay. Now, listen up. How do you simplify this? Is the question. Now, remember, nothing can be done here, right? As of right now, nothing can be done because nothing is simplifiable. So one of the things in math is we use the concept called the conjugation. Conjugation is a process which will aid to further simplification. So the conjugate of the denominator 1 plus I is 1 minus I. If I have to simplify this, I'm going to multiply with 1 minus I. I'm going to divide by 1 minus I because you cannot change the original problem. You with me on this? You can't, because these two cancel out, the original problem stays. This is a tool, a methodology to simplify this without changing the original question. And this is what the calculator does, by the way. You with me on this? So, at the top, you have 1 minus I, of course. Now look at this. A plus B times A minus B. We just did that, right? Factorization of the difference of squares. A plus B times A minus B is A squared minus B squared. Shortcut. Boom. Or, of course, you can FOIL it like you have been used to. Don't have time for it at the time. You can do it quicker. So 1 minus I divided by 1 square is 1. This is negative 1, right? Negative of negative becomes positive. 1 plus 1 is 2. Are you with me on this? And this is where people make mistake. I'm telling you right now, I'm warning you here. They see this negative, they say 1 minus 1 is 0. Right? I've seen this happen many a times with the imaginary numbers, especially the denominator.
Do you mind going over that last part again? I didn't understand that.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this. 1 squared is 1 minus I squared is negative 1. Right? So 1 minus I divided by 2. Now, I want to further continue this. Of course, in ACT, you can either see this as an answer choice, or they're going to separate the 2 here. Half minus half I. I think some of the calculators gave this answer, right? Some. Why do they write it like this? Why it's a preferred option? Because this number is called a complex number. How many of you heard the term complex number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's talk, okay? So, there are 2 types of numbers, okay? Real number and imaginary number, right? A complex number is a combination of these 2. Every number is a complex number. Sounds good? A complex number is written in the format of a plus bi. A is the real portion here. Real portion. You with me on this? And b is the coefficient of the complex of the imaginary number, in this case negative half. You with me on this? So if you want to write 2, just number 2 as a complex number, I can write it as 2 plus 0i. You with me on this? So every number is a complex number. The conjugate of a plus bi is a minus bi, basically, because that's the way to simplify it. So here, a plus bi, simply. You guys with me so far? This is how the calculator does, by the way. This is how it gets to it. Go ahead, right on. Guys good? Try the next problem using calculator. Simplify 1 divided by I. 1 divided by I. What do you guys get?
Negative I.
Negative?
Negative I.
Negative I, right? Of course, that's easy, right? You won't see this question in the ACT, but what happens? How did the calculator do it? So remember I told you, this process is called conjugation, okay? This process is called conjugation. This is the conjugate, and you cannot change the original question in math. I've seen, one of the biggest thing I've seen in high school students lately, not lately, for 15 years I've been doing this, or 20 years. they don't even realize sometimes they change the question without balancing on the other side per se. So, what's the conjugate of just I? The conjugate of I is I. You'd multiply and divide by I. So, I times 1 is I times I is I squared, I divided by -1 is negative I. Make sense? So what's the goal of the the process of conjugation? It gives me a way to simplify the denominator, to do more steps into it. Right on. That was, of course, an easy one. Next question. Oh, by the way, if I have to write this as a complex number, I can write it as 0 minus 1i. Right? 0 minus 1i. Or just 0 minus I. I don't want you to use your calculators now. So you're not going to cheat, okay? Put your calculators away. Simplify this. 3 minus I divided by 2 minus I. Do it manually. Now check your answer with your calculator. This is what I'm getting. How many got this? Or similar to the fraction or decimal? No? Any questions? Does this make sense? See you guys next. Yeah.
I do have a question.
Sure, please.
Why do you keep the I on the 1/5 when you separate the two?
Because the format is a plus bi, so I'm trying to create the coefficient, and the coefficient is plus 1 over 5.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So that it's a plus this is bi. There's something else called modulus. We'll get there. And for modulus, I need to know the value of a and b. Okay? So they'll ask you, what is the modulus of this complex number? If you guys can please mute. If you guys can please mute. Thanks.
Do you mind going over the second part, like how you got 6 plus I minus of minus 1? I didn't get that.
This part here?
The step after that.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay, 3i minus 2i is I. And I squared is -1, so minus of -1, so it's plus 1, 7 plus I.
Oh, so when we do the I squared, does the negative apply to it, or are we putting it after that?
That's the key part here. So this negative is this negative here. I squared itself is -1, so that's why I wrote it in parentheses, so it becomes positive.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's why it is, that's the most common mistake, is they ignore that negative again because they think, oh, this negative stands for I squared. No, this is outside. That's why, I don't know if you observed this, I write very carefully this way, so it's very clear. And I myself have made mistakes in a rush. So be careful on this one. And I've seen this happen many a times. You'll be amazed, especially if when you're in a hurry, you just tend to make silly mistakes. Yeah.
Is there any kind of imaginary number problem where you can't use your calculator to solve it?
I can make it easy. Let me tell you. Instead of this 3 or 2, how about I put an x and a y? A variable, your calculator can't do it. I'm not done with this topic, by the way, so next week is, if you guys, you know what? Try this at home, okay? This was in ACT, by the way. So, question number D. Simplify x divided by 1 plus xi. Yeah. You can't do it now, calculator. That's why I started with calculator, so it's out of the system, and then really have to, absolutely never believe that you should only run calculator for anything. More you learn technology, less understanding you have. You with me on this? That's the fundamentals. And I've seen people do like Grammarly and all these softwares, apps they use. Yeah, these are secondary levels, not primary way to get your knowledge. This is the best way. What we're doing is the best way to learn. It has worked 200 years back, it's going to work next 200 years as well. Whiteboard, blackboards, teaching in the classroom, this never fails. You try to go online, yeah, it will help you to reinforce what you've learned, but this is not the primary way to learn. I'll see you guys next week. Get a 5 minutes break.